yara nyilla domoro ka diate
boy janno sikes restaurant
e sai nako be ni na dimbal nimba domoro kala janno
domoro seneyata adiyata topotoro fanan kendema bije luntan during tamala abeka domoro ki janni adi manda wala de teka we bijele anim fanan ka fadi jang ikono e fa e ka fa minne ko pastry anim bakery iko fanan be kalele badde lomba conference lomba workshop lomba ye fo fendil lo dunia kono domoro betama nyillom international o toda number 1.
Welcome back from the break. Council, if you are ready to continue, please proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Usher, can you please help us bring in the witness? Welcome back, Mr. Witness.
Bismillah.
Just before the break, you told us about your arrests and detention at the NIA. You gave us a list of 12 individuals you were detained with. You told us that in the early hours of the morning, around 2 a.m. to 3 a.m., on the 26th of May 2006, you were taken out of the cell and brought at the conference hall before Mr. Lamin Cisse, the major crime.
Mr. Major Lamin Cisse
Boto Keta, Haidara, the deputy DG.
Deputy DG Haidara, member Marlin Ella.
Nuru Seka, the director of operations NIA.
Nuru Seka, me alongatele Marlin Dukola NIA.
Musa Jamme.
Musa Jamme.
And Fali Jabang. And also one Lamin Cham. Can you tell us what happened when you were brought before these individuals?
Good afternoon. Before proceeding, two more things. Among the detainees, I forgot to mention Usman Cisse. I mentioned him in my statement, Usman Jagla Cisse. He was running an internet cafe in Lamin at the time.
Internet cafe le bate bulu Lamin ikafanyime Usman Jagla Cisse.
I'm on the panelist. Besides the names that I have given, there were others that I do not know. So the list I've given was not the does not exhaust the total number of panelists.
Thank you for that clarification.
So when I was asked to sit down, then they asked me again about what I knew about Freedom newspaper. Again, more or less the same routine of questioning as to if I knew Panderimbai in passing, if we did communicate in any form, and if I did give any information to him with respect with regards to the government.
Kotake ateo nyini kar kilingol long fo nimpandirim baye nyolon ne bang fonna kadiye mole ka nyomoy bang kadiya mu nyoye wala foku mun kule bentema fodun te ka kibaro lu dia atelale akamen findini Freedom newspaper kibaro la karola me ya lonko wala mu bankola man sakunda la kibaro luti.
Again, my answers were the same, that no, none of that happened.
Naja birol mu ateo ku kilingol ti ko men ngamen fonum follow wala nyinti hani
Then they mentioned to me that they've got evidence that I've been giving information to Pandirimbai. And that I should tell them the truth. Then I challenged them to provide that evidence. Because they said they intercepted an email from me to Pandirimbai. I challenged them even further that if they had intercepted an email from me to Pandirimbai, then they must have hacked into my account or into Pandirimbai's account.
Woto iteludun tantela konto le kono na web page wala idunta Pandirimbay la konto le kono.
Email account, I mean.
Email konto.
And that in itself was illegal.
Andu fongo damang luwa balantalale.
But I was told that I was not in a position to question them.
Bari nyina fanyanko ite tembo mento jang ite kokunding nyinin kano la kafo kabalang.
And that they were not obliged to give me answers.
Andu itel manjanga jabir dilantela.
But I insisted.
Bari hanim bim lota mbalanta.
And there and then,
no tembo lemu.
I believe it was Lamin who mentioned to me that, I mean, they didn't know more or less anything about competing, so they don't even know what hacking was.
Utumole Lamin ala miro to wole kayanko. Itul mom fellon computer karola sako ka dum wala konto kono ka fo me hacking to bab counto.
Then I asked again, if you didn't know what hacking was, how could you have intercepted an email? Then bring your experts from Gamtel or anywhere to testify. I mean, they will collaborate what I'm saying.
Nko woto tonya nata atil man fellon wolem kadum wendi konto kono ikafome hacking woto allolla lu bondi nan Gamtel men ya lonko isi kumo sedi ante be men fo kana leja.
And at that juncture, Mfali Jabang stood up.
This is
O2 Jabang, the military intelligence.
O2 Jabang, member Sojarola Kibar Karola ila Kullo Kibar Karola military intelligence.
He was the one who mentioned to me that I was not in a position to question them and that they were not obliged to give me answers. He walked up to where I sat down. And he slapped me. So that angered me a lot. Then impulsively I just shot up from my chair. And swore to him that if he repeated that, I was going to pay back. Then again, I think Lamin asked him to stand down.
You mentioned to us that they were asking you questions. Who was leading the interrogation?
Initially, the questioning was coming from Lamin for maybe the first part, but eventually almost anybody else in the parliament, in the panel was asking.
Ko follow dulato Malamin le nyinin karo damuta ba birimo bota la ko meta tumo men do banding mo womondin beje ibe nyinin ibe kadulle dron ka nyinin karo ke.
Who appeared to be leading the panel at that point?
The
panel seemed to be led by Hydra, the one I mentioned, the deputy director of NIA.
Amunta men deputy director ti Hydra kontoning abeko wole be kulu nyaton kaya kan wutumo.
But he was more or less sort of passive in terms of questioning.
Bari atekata moliti me ya lonko abe tenkundi ni dron amam fenfo abe dering.
When Mpali Jabang slapped you, did any of them rebuke him for slapping you?
I
wouldn't call it a rebuke.
But
then he was asked to stand down by Lamin.
Bari kain ayatu malamin sisele yo fay.
And he did comply.
Andu nga sontawlale.
And at that juncture, I wept because not necessarily from pain, but from anger.
Otembo nkumbotale katu amanke ko dimingule yankumbondi de bari kamfale duntanto wala yankumbondi.
So it was at that moment that
Otembo lemu
had a voice from behind me.
Ngamu adiamutankoma.
If I may just describe the way the desk was positioned.
Ninsa follow yo tabulo londinu nyameng.
When you walk into the conference room,
Ni tamata idunta na conference room okono ila bendulato.
you just face the desk head on.
Kenya tilim na wo tabulo le la inya tilimula.
So you being interrogated like a person like me
Ni ibete nyinin kakanko atebedamento nungo tembo.
would have his back to the door.
Ikobe tilim na bunda lela idunta na ndamenna.
And the place was not, it was sort of not as bright as usual
And
in terms of lighting.
Andu wotembo lampol bije nyami dula mantara lerle amantara kenayari mbake je abedibi mulule kono.
Besides the surrounding of the desk,
Tun tabulo nyin na muro nyin dala
everywhere else was sort of semi-dark.
wolbe komalo bebe dibirinne.
So it was at that point that I had a voice behind me.
Wotembo le ngamu kuma kama moye nkoma.
The voice said to me that,
Nyimari mendi amta nyine fonyen ko.
by the way, those who know me usually call me LB. This is how I'm mostly known. That's my initial. Many people call me LB.
Menu yellong jamabe kono ika fonyen LB mo jama yellong wolela.
So this voice said to me, LB,
Nyimari di amta nyin LB.
it's better you speak the truth.
Akonye Memphis yata membe jandron wolem yeto nyafo.
Because if you don't,
Ni wonte
we will kill you.
mbe falale.
I couldn't mistake the voice.
Nyin kuma kango nte fili nolala.
Because this was somebody
Nyimu moleti
I've known
ngame long
since I was a kid.
birimbe dindi yala.
We are in the same club,
Mbe kafu kilingo le kono.
same class,
Class kilingo kono.
same village,
Sate kilingo to.
interacted endlessly over years.
Adun sanji jama kono na kulu ka futa nyoma nkadun nyokono.
And to confirm the voice,
Adun puru ka kango tonya yandi jumalem.
immediately I turned.
Unoto le mtiriminta kakoma dube.
Again, I couldn't mistake his bulky figure.
Andu mamfili amari danya makatu mo wararingolem.
Because he's always been hefty since childhood.
Katu amari kabirina dindima aketa mo balabaleti.
This was Malik Jata,
Malik Jatati.
military officer.
Me alonko soja role
We
mwati.
commonly call Jiki
Nka faye ni jiki.
Tujareng.
Ujaren sate okono.
And later I came to know that he was one of the junglers.
Adun ko kola nata nyimfanan lonko atebeo jongla sol le kono.
How did you know that he was a jungler?
I came to know it later, precisely during my detention.
Nata lo wato me wole namuto wuche kono lo nata bo be kalama.
Because
Katu
when we were detained,
katu birimbe o muto kono.
there has always been talk that junglers were the ones responsible for torturing people.
Ika nyine fodula beto jeko jongla sol le moluti men ka molu tajire ya ka molu bute.
I've never witnessed him being torturing anybody.
Nena majede nyala atebe molu bute kandamin.
But based on corroborative sort of statements that's been made by my co-detainees and others,
Bari nka kuma kan memwe nka funyolu la nimmenu be muto kono animo kotengolu.
I came to believe with the conclusion that he was.
Nata la nyina ko tonya nyil beka kumu memfo mobe denta kuma kilimu la woto tonyalo.
And because I didn't have any evidence to refute that he was in the jungle,
Adun dalila ya tembulu mensa kendi ko tonya nyi manke jonglati.
and that other people mentioned to be junglers whom I have known personally, I've seen them,
Adun mo kotengolu menu to fota ko mu jengla soleti ngamenu je sakonge long.
like Modu Jaju Rambo,
Menu be ko modu jaju ta fa me Rambo
Sana Manjang.
sanamanjang.
I know them personally,
Nolu fanglu lon ne ni nyolo ne adama malu long
from Brikama.
kabo birkama.
So, and Modu Jaju was one person
Modu jaju lumu moleti
who came
men nata
to the NIA reception when we were in light detention,
kana ila mo bentundula to biringo tumo mutaro yom fatan kun nadomanding
pick up journalist Lamin Cham, who testified here.
journalist bunding konoje ka fume Lamin cham melne nata CDRO la jang.
We'll get to that point later. You recognized Malik Jatta's voice. You also turned around to confirm that he is indeed Malik Jatta. And you also told us that he told you that it's better for you to tell the truth or you will be killed. Can you tell us what happened afterwards?
I responded to him that he knew me from childhood. And he knows that I'm not a liar. That notwithstanding, I will not admit to what I have not committed. Then, it was at that point that I was held by either arm, took me downstairs, behind the conference hall, the story building in the main story building at the time. It was the ozone. Of course, there was a fence, a wall between the perimeter of the NIA headquarters and the beach. So behind this, there were some trees and some ring brick walls. So I was asked to get into that ring, in one of the rings. Again, the place was more or less dark, because there was no proper lighting. As I stepped into the ring and before I could come into terms with my environment, out of sheer luck, I saw somebody just attempted to pounce on me. Then instinctively, again with further luck, I let myself fall on the ground in order to avoid the impact of the attempted kick. And that was the point that they started beating me up. I felt being beaten with sticks, stamped upon. This was by not less than half a dozen people. I couldn't do much, only to cover my face as much as I could. Though I was lying down on one side of my face, because I didn't want to lie down on my nose in order not to suffocate myself. And the beating continued. To be honest, it's reached a stage. I said, to be honest, it reached a stage I couldn't feel any pain anymore. I didn't even realize whether I was shouting anymore or not. But I knew I was conscious. Then somebody ordered for them to stop. I was covered in dust and all that. Then I was dragged upstairs again.
You mentioned that sticks were used to beat you. Apart from sticks, what else? Did they use anything else to beat you?
I could feel them kicking me and stamping on me. I knew they were using stick because they started cutting off branches from the trees. And as they hit me, I realized that yes, this is stick because it's different from, you know, anything else that is plastic or whatever. I can't say for certain that they didn't use anything else or they.
How long did that beating last?
It's a $1 million question. To be honest, I can't tell. But I know if it had prolonged, maybe I could have died. And I can only assume that it didn't take that long. But that long is open up to interpretation.
Did you recognize anyone from among the people that were beating you?
I recognize that Malik was part of the group who dragged me down. He was part of the group. Later came to know that Sanamanjang and Rambo were there as well. By Rambo, I mean Modu Jaju. But exactly who hit me, no, I couldn't tell. Whether it was all of them or some of them, I couldn't tell.
This Malik Jata you're talking about, did you see him recently?
If I can remember well, the last time I saw Malik in person was immediately after my detention in 2006. We met at the during Corite Day at the prayer ground. I can't remember seeing him since then.
You also mentioned that he's a jungler.
Yes, I did.
Malik Jata, who is also a jungler, testified before the commission on the 23rd of July 2019.
Malik Jata me alon ko jongula la fanan diam da nyin commission nyati mo July karo tilmo aning saba 2019 sang zero.
Is that the Malik Jata you're referring to?
Maybe Malik Jata le ba.
Yes, it's the same Malik Jata because I listened to his testimony.
Malik Jata killing the phone. Karunala said
During his testimony, Malik Jata testified that he did actually see you at the NIA. He also mentioned that he had a personal grievance with you. He told the commission that he did not touch you.
Yeah, if he says so, it could be right because, to be honest, I've mentioned in my statement that I can't say for certain that Malik hit me. I didn't see him hitting me, and as I said, I cannot tell who and who exactly hit me. But I knew he was part of the group that dragged me down.
Kunga fanyame nta fono la foto nya afango buloe fentale kalipa bari de ngani foko ngaje jele umuto nyalti ngajele bari bitun kafo ay fentale kalipa nte fono la katu menu bellipa kanu wotumo malo njumani njumalem.
Can you tell us if you sustained any injuries as a result of the beating meted on you?
Yes,
I did.
Can you tell us about your injuries?
I had lacerations all over my back, my arms especially, and my head.
Anin kuno.
I still have those marks on my head.
Adun hanimbi wo marke dalu ben kuno bala.
What happened after they beat you up at the beach?
I was taken upstairs back to the interrogation room, that is the conference room. And I was told that what happened to me was just the tip of the iceberg. And I should expect more. And that I should comply with them. But then I told them that there is nothing more to comply with except telling the truth, which I did, and that was it.
From that statement, from the statement they made to you, what did you think the purpose of the beating was?
They were trying to force me to accept that I was giving information to Freedom newspaper. Based on my own analysis, and I mean, from that point up to the time that I was delayed, it was like they were trying to look for a scapegoat. Amunta kabo temboto fokata bula kul natala nyami nyatonto itelbe mole nyinin kandurong ibe men dundi la ka foko nyilem molti men nyini nyinke, because they knew that they messed up big time. Katu italiano nako ye fili bante ya jamale ke ila o kulu kono. And they were not the least professional in the way they handled the whole matter. Adu italioko tamandi nyamin anil lonna lula silo men keta do ko no la ni lonna altani silo manda. And that they were just trying to impress the president. And it will make a nyame, unyame maunya, Willem Drum Pruka, President Nya Bundi, Telabaro, Kafoko, Samutako, Telbe Barakendol.
How did you know that it was the president they were trying to impress?
It all on Nyari Lako, if the president in Ibola Bakataka Pruka say one did Kajuso Bla. Because during our stay, I don't want to mention this man's name because I think he's still in service. He was part of the panel. He's in my statement too. After all those 3-4 months in detention,
if you're not comfortable to state his name, can you kindly write it on a piece of paper for the commission?
That's fine.
Kindly date and sign it as well. Go on, please.
And then, one Friday, like early evening, we were brewing attire. This was long after the investigations. The man came to the NIA premises. Of course, I assume for a different reason. Then upon seeing us, he came and sat down with us. We took some attire together. And he personally told us that each time that he saw us there, he felt some kind of guilt. Because He said the panel had done their investigation.
Ako panelo yela kisikisiro kele.
And they found none of us wanting of what we were being accused of.
And
the report of the panel was submitted to the NIA director, who was our host at the time.
Who
happened to be Mr. Harry Sambu. And that it was for Harry to take it up with the big man.
Andu harile nyanta nyin ko sambala banko nyaton koya.
By the big man.
Ikafome big man utumo.
It was the president.
President.
That was how I knew and believed that yes, everything that was happening was under the directives of the president.
Utumo lo ngalo ngomembebe ke kanu njang. President la yamaro na la kango kanem.
And Mr. Chairman, I believe that the information he provided with respect to that man is not so serious. So it would be okay to mention the name of the man, is it, Mr. Chairman? That is with your permission.
Ansul kamem fa wala nyindi ko sedo to men tangi ay men sa ka to wala tan atala jiko to sedo men sata nyi mari la kodo manke kudi me yalongo ku jawole mari nyi mari na karola so dalilo kan amman jaw ya pour ka kew nyi ka mari nyi ka to lankena ma mobe ya moy kiaman dun na.
I'm seeking guidance from you, Mr. Chairman, as to whether it's okay to mention his name or not.
Silanga be dunyo nyi na kiaman bulu ni ngata sonta wala.
If you recommend that the name is mentioned, please proceed.
I
can see Deputy Chair nodding her head, so I'll just go ahead with it and not mention the name, but tender the signed paper as exhibit later on. So go ahead, please. After your torture by some members of the junglers, I believe, because you mentioned Sanamanjang being part of them, and Rambo, but you're not sure if Malik Jatta participated in your torture or not.
I ko tenten kaboro ya fo kabrin ena ye liba ye bude ena len sansan kono andu ko men ma be ringe wala sanam manjande anin modu jaaju ka me Rambo but imalla nyin na ko fo nyi Malik Jatta fata da bulo mate la fama bulo mamela ko tenten kaboro.
You were taken back and asked to speak the truth.
Ko inata ne murundi santo ko take pour yeddiamu ye pour yetonya fo.
And that is their own version of the truth. And you insisted that you had told them the truth. Can you tell us what happened afterwards?
Let me take you back a second. I said, Sanamanjang, Modu Jaju Rambo, Malik, they are all part of the group of junglers who were there, who dragged me downstairs. Among the group who hit me. But I can't say for certain individually who hit me and who didn't. I can't say for certain if everybody in the group hit me. But I know at least some of them did. Just to clarify that.
Thank you for that clarification.
So when I was taken back to the interrogation table, and as you said, for me to tell their version of the truth, I stood my ground. Then after a while, they asked me to excuse them and, go outside of the room. They took me to the staircase and asked me to sit down. Then Mfali Jaban came to me again and told me that the statement I initially wrote at the police headquarters on my first day of arrival at Banjul was misplaced. Misplaced, I mean, they misplaced the statement. But then, they've remembered everything that I've said. And they wrote it down. And they would like just for me to append my signature and date it. I insisted on reading the statement for appending my signature. They complied. I read it. Told them, no, this is not what I've said. I'm not going to sign this. Give me a piece of paper and a pen. Now write down my statement again. And Fali told me that you try, just to quote him, you are trying to show us that you are stubborn. But we'll deal with you. We'll teach you a lesson. He left.
Can you tell us the content of the statement they wanted you to sign?
They've got everything that I've said more or less in my initial statement, as I mentioned. But there is a confessionary paragraph that I confess that I have subscribed to Freedom newspaper and that I have been in communication with Pandiri and that I have been providing him information. Bari inatadula la faje ko ndele ko nsontale ye memfonye ko ndeni mpandiri kanyomo ile andunka kibaro diala ya kamensa fe Freedom kibar kaito bala andunka foko hato nyala ndele yo baroke.
And that was false.
It wasn't true. And the only bit of truth in it was that yes, I subscribed to the paper, which I have indicated in my initial statement, and had confirmed to them during our verbal exchange.
In essence, they were trying to incriminate you.
There is no other better way to it.
When you refused to sign this confessional statement, what happened?
This was the time Musa Jame approached me for the first time, Lieutenant Musa Jame Maliamungo. Lieutenant Musa Jame Maliamungo, I think he was trying to shoot me down. Because he was trying to sort of dust me off. I was dusty all along. And then said to me that, are you from Tujareng? I said yes. I said where from? I told him my family. He told me, wow, we are in the same kabilo. Because Musa, at some point, was living with his uncle or stepfather, you may call it. Baba Siru Jamme, he's late now. Baba Siru Jamme, who, when he came to Tujareng, was given land for both for farming and residential by my family. When I say my family, I mean my clan, my kabilo. We are usually my clan is the the alcalde of the village. And this is usually a norm in our village, I can say, or in many parts of Congo. So when he said that to me, I told him, well, I know you. So I knew since we were kids, because I can remember, when we were younger, if you have a family that has a police officer or a military officer in the family, because of the kind of respect we accord to those people, service personnel, it's like everybody is sort of proud that we have a family member who is a police officer or a military officer.
nimmo soton tan na kabilo kono walla mbadi mulu kono me ya lonko abedo ko la service bunda la kita sojarti kita police ti ndol fanala ka kenya nyabole tin kan nya amari lale.
Under that circumstance you found yourself with him.
Amunda ko al halo kono ifana inat ni fanja ikoto.
Did you still have that sense of pride in looking up to him as a military personnel?
Jeto haninga be inara na nyin jusu dongo so le ka sewo ka riye fanja buluje abalaje uniform o badala.
Not for a million Musa James.
Amanka hani million Musa Jammeti fang.
I will never ever accord that kind of respect for a person like that after my ordeal at the NIA.
Ngal mantoro men takije wo kola menete o bunya façon soto la moye membe ko ate wo bunya kota kende o soto na moye membe ko ate.
Because this was the time that I came, I mean, sort of, I woke up to the realities of what was really happening in our country.
Utumolem amunda nimmobe sino la dron amarina ta kunin ayaje ko nyaran nyinni be kerin tela banko kan utembola ngatina ta lo membe kerin banko kan.
So Musa then told me that
utumole Musa yin fayen ko
and we are brothers to quote him.
Oto ntel mu badin kilineti.
Then why not comply and tell the truth?
Muna na ite sonna eto nyafo.
Told him that no, I mean I've already spoken the truth. There is nothing more for me to say.
Nkai hani ntenga to nyalefo adun fentije ko makota kente be memfola.
Told me that then you do not want to get helped.
Ako nyo utumole ko to ite malafi moye dema.
And he left.
Abotaji.
So I was not taken back for questioning again. I was escorted to my cell. Only with words that they will deal with me.
Did they provide you with any medical assistance, given that you had several lacerations on your back and on your head?
So inarana de maro dilala bang jaralo la karola tumala men na iko kono ani bulol be faranta kabo ningu libarola.
Not at that moment, not ever during my detention.
Watu loto je imam femfem Kenya imam mako irdina aduna muto uche umume bekono imam jaral dinna imam mako irdina.
How about your fellow detainees? Do you know if they also went through the same ordeal you went through?
Imo nyo kota ngol do ini men data Morocco no nje fo yalo ne men la ko mel late kan fo fa no tol fa no ko kil ngol late kamba.
That night, yes.
Olun suto ha wo ketale.
When I was escorted back to my cell,
bri yendan kata na selo kono
I got inside.
Ndunta kono to.
So it was like everybody was curious what happened and what was happening.
Adu menu beje akete be kumpoleti pour kalo mune keta wala mune be caring.
Then in order to, I thought the best thing was to prepare them mentally. I mean, my co-detainees to prepare them mentally.
Between tela miro keta nyente ko pour si parendi ko membelaring inyato isi sobi isa long isi parea kama.
Then I told them to brace up.
Nko enko ta li parede alali fante parendi.
And that they would likely be tortured for so.
Alun asikeno yali fanalu tajireya.
Because that's what they did to me.
Katu yole kentela.
I remember Fakeba or Yoro, Fakeba asking, I mean, but we didn't hear your shouts. So I told him you couldn't, but even if I should shout, what good would it come out of it? So there was no point. For a split second they didn't believe me. And to get that sink in, I had to remove my shirt. Then some of them burst into tears because of the condition I was in. And each one of us that was detained on that very night were tortured. I believe the only person I can remember that was in torture was this guy, Pamodu Fall. This reminds me, sorry Council, I'll take you back again. Somebody who was in the panel. For some reason I oversighted him until at this point. Late Tumbul Tamba. Because this was the guy
Bari walam nyin tumbul tambale moti
who immediately when Pamodu was taken out of the cells,
me ya lon ko biriye Pamodu fintindi selo kono dron
because the both of them knew each other personally.
Katutel mo fulole nyolo ne dalitale
And we are both ardent Arsenal Football Club supporters.
adutel be mu moleti men ya lon ko ye katadam fuka no membe England banko kay ka fae Arsenal Football Club.
So Tumbul ordered for him not to be taken, to be tortured.
Tumbul ye nyin kawdi koy kana sambay kana bute.
It was later that I came, or all of us came to understand that the reason why Tumbul didn't let Pamodu get tortured was because of that relationship that they had. But besides him, I remember all of us were tortured.
How about Hadidabo? You mentioned that she was not kept with you guys. She was kept somewhere else.
Hadidabo dung ya fo janko imanding Hadidabo be ke dula kilingoto ya teninke afayen.
Hadi, I didn't see her again that night because she was, kept at the conference room, and I don't know if he was tortured or not. The only other time that I had been seeing her was when she was eventually released on bail the following morning. Then, she would come with others to report on bail. But we've not been interacting that much when they come to report on bail.
Bari hadide wolum labanta jara wolum ne wolum suto bari ngani lonko yate sindi ila bendinkira nyini to conference hall yo bari woso mo drone mo yate bail bitu kola anim molu kana kane danko wairi ni bail ika wato le foye kane danko wato men akatani nale kana e danko je nkaje wo tumol le la bari bitu ala ko ka fo wolum menata kala nte fen fono rawdo.
Because the four of us who were in long-term detention, that's myself, Malik Mbub, Duta Kamaso, and one military officer, Buba Jame.
Duta Kamaso, who else?
Malik Mbub.
Anim Malik Mbub.
We are not interacting with the others who were released on bail. Because it was like separating common criminals from death row inmates.
Amunta ya ketenne ko criminal men ya lon ko mumo jawleti kawol nimmo dolu fatandi nyobala.
So I don't know what eventually befell Hadidabo that night.
Atu woto wala ya sabu lu suto malo mun na talabankela Hadidabo la.
And in this sense, you said separating common criminals from death row inmates. Which category did they put you in?
Ya fo jango iko ya fata si kafu fulati wala nyindi mol me alongo kuja barala lam ani mol me alongo be Morocco no be nyanne falale wala death row ite tarda mun kafu jumala kono.
We were part of the death row.
Munta itelu mbo molati ye menu mutako wolbe fatal le kono.
So you saw yourself as a death row inmate at the time you were there at the NIA premises.
Munda zan ite fanje ko ite mora molle kono men yaran ko be nyanni falale NIA sanson kono je.
Not in the literal sense of the phrase.
Amanka ko puruka foko be mfalale kuma fo nyamin.
What I was trying to say is that it's like, we were all accused of the same thing, but it seemed like our crime was much more severe than the others. It's like we were found guilty already.
Amunta nafu nyile kamako mbe yembe muta kukilo la bara amunta ko ntelela ko jawyata katambi odolula wala na yembe bo nyobala otembo amunta yentelu tumile febe menkela na pareta wala foka pare.
Because to manifest that,
burka osahandi
some of the NIA operatives that we have personal relationships with, we knew personally, we are not even sort of allowed to interact with us.
Kato hani NIA do kulalu menu bije menu ya lonko ni dalita imam pare fang puru nyoli kata nyola wala ni futa nyoma.
Let me give an example on that.
Nsi Santiago Dino la Carola.
You may briefly.
For example, there was this operative called Yaya Bajinka. This gentleman had been a friend of mine from childhood through school. In fact, on the morning after our initial night in cells, detention. He took it upon himself to take me out of the cells for me to freshen up and change clothes. During our detention there, he's been warned by his boss not to associate with us because our case was from the State House.
And ala nyaton ko ya dandala ko alinte lakulu kana katanyola katu ya maro soto ne membota State House.
But he insisted that I'm his personal friend.
But ya lotanya ne kanko nte teri lo munyindi.
And Buba Jamme, the military officer, is just like a big brother to him.
Adum Buba Jamme sojaro membe mutoko no jewtumo bele ko dron ka ko to male muti.
In as much as he couldn't do much for us,
he will
do his best to help us out. To quote him, he told me, boy, I can be where you people are tomorrow. And just like as if it is a prophecy, is exactly what happened. I believe around the night of the 22nd of July, 2006.
And 2006,
when he got arrested with his other Bajinka brothers and brought to where we were detained. After the failed attempt of to arrest their elder brother Khalifa Bajinka, former ADC and senior military officer, just to give an example.
Thank you very much for that. Apart from the night of the 26th of May 2016,
16 or 6?
2006.
Sorry, my bad. 2006.
2006.
Were you tortured again?
Not any of us that were tortured that night.
You mentioned several people that were not part of the initial list of the people you were detained with. You mentioned Duta Kamaso. Was she also arrested in connection with the Freedom newspaper saga?
Yes.
You also mentioned Buba Jammeh. Do you know the reason for his own detention?
He was arrested and detained with respect to the Freedom newspaper saga. In fact, he was a personal protective officer to the president at the time.
Apart from the torture of the individuals you were detained with, did you witness any other person being tortured at the NIA?
Buba was called out from our detention center. I think it is important to mention that after after about some days, I can't remember whether it's up to a week or so, in being detained in cells, we were eventually taken out and put under what they call light detention. Like this, we were based at the reception center of the NIA. Reception center. And this is where we sleep, this is where we sit, this is where when people come to visit us, we interact with them.
How long did you remain at the NIA before you were allowed to receive visitors?
ila taro NIA ay wati jellel si janni be silo di la pour mol kane ke kumpa boy.
Well, immediately after we were released from the cells and put on the light detention,
from
that first week we've been having visitors. But to use your own word, allowed, I don't think we were ever been allowed officially to be seen by visitors. It reached a stage during our detention that we built some kind of relationship with the guards, the securities at the gate there. And I would say that these people allow us visitors based on their own, you know, like their own personal, you know, decisions. Because the first day I was detained, my elder brother, Dudabo, my maternal elder brother for that matter, is the IT director at the University of the Gambia currently. But the news, he went to the NIA to ask for me, and he was detained by those very securities. I mean, for hours, demanding as to who told him that I was being detained at NIA. So if those securities at the gate had the power to detain somebody for hours, later in turn will allow us access to visitors, including that brother of mine,
andu will abrin ko meta will nata som pour moli nante kumpabo adu naw koto mame ya mutaje wonata tara mol kono sonta men fon nata kanantol kumpabo
without us being given any official directives from top.
Andu wayatara e mankan soto men ya mendi lanto lakoto kabo santon ko lubulu.
And I would like to conclude that it was out of the own volition of those securities to allow us visitors.
Adu moto wala kendi msinyi mfono ko o security men be bunda kantola.
You were also telling us about the time Bojang was taken from light detention.
Yeah, it happened to me ko take jam ko watola hani fo watola watu men sita no fo Bojang samba marali sona yari ngokono.
So Buba joined us when we were in light detention.
Buba ya kafuntol mabirim bewo mutasono yari ngokono.
I think a day or two after his arrival.
Then
at night, he was called. Then he went for some time, precisely after 1 hour or so. Then when he came back, he told us that he was being interrogated and that he was tortured by junglers. And the evidence was on him because he removed his shirt and his body was, his back was all lacerated.
Andu asede ababalale katu ayala dondi ko bondi lentol fon liaje afanam balo be faram dingole nyama.
Lamin Cham, the journalist,
Lamin Cham, journalist
was also tortured.
I
remember him walking into the reception. Yeah, I mean, initially when he came, we tried to talk to him to prepare him mentally. Especially Malik, because he had that personal relationship with Malik Mbub.
Sako Malik katotumo anim Malik Mbub diabe tema.
But he was like, I think he didn't believe like what happened to me initially. He was like, okay, do you people have tea? I want to take some tea.
Munta kwa manlana ko abekole ko drong atelu kara alika team njan odum fanan lafta team na.
But before the realities dawned on him,
bari janning abelala ko la men ya lonko inata men kala.
he He was called out of the detention, out of the light detention center around early hours of the morning, maybe around 2 a.m., 3 a.m.
Inata kumande ka bondi o mutasono ya rengo kono suto la dutala talamfula kata talansaba wuchokang.
And when he woke up, he was half asleep and he staggered out.
Otumo ba kulina tumo na kasamba abesino lanom bitunga lao sino tole talin to finti tabunko no.
And you told us that it was Rambo that came for him.
Yes,
Rambo came for him. Rambo came to call him.
Rambo le nata kama wale nata ka kumandi.
And what is Rambo's full name?
Rambo to found
Momodu Jaju from Brikama.
Momodu Jaju le te andunga bota Brikama le.
So if you know the NIA premises, you realize that the inner door from the reception center had some distance.
Niye NIA long ila konoto bunda nyin keno le bije memba ni dinkira tema
between there and the main walls that separates the garage and the main official buildings of the NIA.
Me ya lonko keno be damento bumbala sansamba membe koma la garaso dalaji.
Maybe 20-25 meters.
Abitani for meter muang ni lulu o keno bijele.
So that was exactly where Rambo and the other junglers were, just by the wall.
Rambo ni jongla dulu itatao sansango balaji.
So Lamin Cham being half asleep, when he walked out,
Lamin Cham amunta yate sino tole kuninga lao sino tole findita bila findita.
And I think after when his eyes got adjusted to his surroundings,
so ngamira birina tata hanfo anya dalita dinkira nyina damen tote nganya jeroke.
Maybe out of fear or panic.
Ngamira kitai silanguleti wala kijate o.
And after seeing the junglers, because they were all dressed in, in black clothes, he just turned and ran back to the reception center. And that culminated to the fact that, underneath his feet was all peeled off. But nonetheless, he was still dragged out and tortured. We didn't witness the torture with our naked eyes. But again, when he came back, the evidence was there. The hallmark of NIA torture, that's his laceration and everything else. So Lamin was, I think, we were thankful to Dura Kamaso because she really played a modeling role to all of us out there. She was the one who took Lamin Cham, all upon herself as a mother and calm him down.
Meya lonko atele Lamin kam juso nyabundi ka makoi ko musona dino ka ala kulu topoto ka juso tenkundi.
She did the same with Mariama Denton, the current Speaker of the National Assembly.
Ayo ku kilimule ke Mariama Denton ye meya lonko bitilo wala mu député bu la speaker ti.
Mariama was tortured as well.
Ya Mariama fanan nati jele ya tajire ya.
Although we didn't witness it physically.
Adu masede ya nyala de.
But when he was brought in, we saw her. I didn't know her in passing then. But the other three, Buba, Malik, and Duta, all knew her. But after some time after her arrival, she was brought back to where we were detained. And she was visibly shaken.
Andung ngajako abedamin asilantole motumo.
Terrifically hot.
Andung otumo amunta abebaramarin nafang.
And again, it was Duta.
Kotake Duta.
Help her.
Wale ya makoi.
Calm her down.
Ka juso tenkundi.
That must have been quite an experience. Being kept at one place and seeing people consistently being tortured.
binya bala mol bina be tajire yara be budela wato bela.
Can you tell us what impact that had during your time there on your psychological well-being?
Ilam faisa fono commission ila wato muto nyi wato micho nyi kono je ako nyinga deto nyinga muna kela ila sondo mo kono miro to ila hada mo ya fanando ako nyi ay muna kela.
It was tough.
Akoleata back.
That cannot be overemphasized.
Monsieur fo nyawnyanding ita dango bondinola.
For whatever reason,
Akita dalila wo dalilati.
maybe they thought physical torture wasn't gonna work.
Bari nyimmira ko kamo balajato tajire ya wotekela kulu sono yandirawti.
Or maybe they didn't want to inflict any more physical pain on us.
Walla sike nyindi fanan ko imam pare ka kambarama walla ka dimin ka kudimin dindo kenna.
My feeling was that they wanted to do some kind of mental drive on us.
Namira silang ilafta ko kukenna mense kenna sondo mo man tora rawti.
And by that,
Andu walam nyindiko.
they were not giving us proper food.
Imantara kaldomuri kende dimto laje.
The kind of fries they bring for lunch,
E kamani fasongo menati ntoliye puru kontong.
in order to have some kind of taste out of it,
Puru ka adomo ye fen soto ida kono membe ko amulunt memsi ko aladia wala la kuya.
we had to be adding some kind of jimbo to it.
Foye jimbo lafa akang.
We were not allocated breakfast,
Da so mo de bikaw dinna.
and we were only allocated, if I can't remember, $10 or $15 is for dinner.
Nimma nyina dalasitan wala dalasitan lulu ikawle fanan dinna puru simang.
But thankfully for us,
Bari ala la makoyro kan
we
teli.
refused to be mentally defeated.
Mbalanta dal puru yen sondomo lutinya.
We came together, the four of us, I mean,
Nkafuta nyo mantel mo nano.
maybe before the four of us, because when we were brought to light detention, we found somebody else who was detained.
As until mo nano kola ngamo fanantaraje wato me ben sambalam mutasono yari ngokono ngamo fanantaraje
In connection to a different matter,
me yolon ko yo mutadalila dole kang
this was journalist Lamin Fatou, who was with the defunct independent newspaper.
ni mu journalist solete ka fo me Lamin Fati barato mo atabedo ko ke kang kibar kaitole me yalon ko be banko kan no mo
So all of us came together.
be na ta kafu nyoma.
We usually contribute on daily basis
Lolu ndin kam bulo fay nyokang
and try to eat the best food we can afford.
bitu domoro me yalon ko le betata nka kata pour ka wala soto si balu menna
That was chicken.
wolem si sewti
Luckily for some of us,
pour alala makoro kantel dolu
we had our checkbooks with us,
na check bukolu bembulu na kolo membe bank
and we are able to cash some check and have some cash with us.
yo si safero ke pour ka kolo bondi bank kolo me yalon ko asitarantul bulu
And in order to entice the securities to help us buy food,
burunyin ka security lu fanalu jusolande pour isi song domoro sang
whenever we buy anything, we buy for them as well.
na femfen sam fanguli en kaw nyongol sang itul fanali
Because basically they were not provided any sort of dinner or so.
kadu fanalu e bakasi mandi fanalu laje
So this is how we've been surviving.
bitumbe balu kan wala nyama je
And in between,
wolu tema
there were other people who were brought in,
modol fanalu sotondele wati ni wati kamenu nati
the likes of Mr. Ndondenjai, who was the IEC chairman at the time.
membe ko Mr. Donde Njai me alon ko atele ne keta IEC la siran tioti ni wotumo
Mr. Suleiman Boub, the then deputy to him,
ani Mr. Suleiman Boub men simba atakanu do ku bundala
and one Mr. Sane, I can't remember the first name, but I think he was one of their commissioners at the IEC, Independent Electoral Commission, but he lived in either Chechestown or Tallinn.
ani mo kili ka me Mr. Sane nyina tate tola la fanambe do ko la IEC le no wotumo barabe talindin wala Chechestown wotumo.
And one Madi Sise, who was connected to APRC some sort from Canifing Estate, was also brought in.
Ani ka me Madi Sise me yalon ko tumo abe APRC la karol la no wotembo.
So these people were able to help us with the feeding because their families will bring them enough food, and we were relying on them for their feeding until at the point that they were released. Then we went back to providing for ourselves.
Itu nyimmolu bije tumo menna ngam fansembe wala njikitela katu wala molu ka balwo natiye ndungul fanal kantel fanal mako yi kan kundije ba biri na ta wulu bula hanu fo itata bitu muruta kota ke nkam fan samba nu nyame muruta osiloka.
The people from the IEC, sorry, my apologies. The people from the IEC that were detained.
Mol member the IEC carte fay bundala.
Do you know for how long they were detained at the NIA?
Yala ne ila maro wijo ketawadi jelle di NIA.
Maybe about a week or two, not more than 2 weeks possibly.
Sikeno lokunti bara mantambi lokun fulola.
Because I can remember at some point some Casamas rebels were arrested and brought in. There were about 20, 30 of them, I think.
Hakilo samuta ye Casamas rebelu dolu muta ye natije. Ibitala fumo muangfumo tansabanyo nimanyina ye ulufanal natije.
Some with visible wounds.
Dolu nimbaramo le fango nataje de jibaramo be jato lubala.
So the place was so congested. I think, if I can remember well, it was during that time that the IEC, these people from the IEC were released, if I can remember well.
Dulanata bete hanufa koleata nimmanyina wotembo le fangu yenying IEC do kula lubula.
For how long did you remain in detention?
Ite tarata Morocco no fo wati jelu.
In totality, 4 months, 9 days, 129 days.
Tata kanyan karinani tilikononto tilikeme tilimuang aninkononto.
And during that 4 months, 9 days, were you ever taken to court?
Ilo maro nyi wicho nyi mkono je. Fo inana kesa mbakiti yola laba.
I've never been cautioned, never been charged, and never been taken to court.
Inene mandamdala imayamari inene mansamba kiti bundala inene mantumi.
Except that I think the second or third day of our detention, maybe we were in cells, we were taken out for some kind of photography.
Ngamira na muto tili sabanjango kono yem fintindi ngamira yem fintindi nyina kama purka kananata aluduta
fingerprinting,
anin kambulukumba kambulukondin tampoluta,
which was done in the office of one Tijan Sarge.
Yoke office men kono ngamira ikafa Mario yenne Tijan Sarge.
Besides that, nothing else.
Na manke wote kudo mankije.
Can you tell us what led to your release from the NIA?
Silam voisa fono nye. Muna na sababu ila bulola kabo NIA.
I mentioned earlier that these panelists approached us and told us that we were not guilty of anything and that they've recommended for us to be released in their report.
Ko hakilo ya ita nyame ngani fo na kumaka mkono ko nyim menube panelo tunu inatafuta makafo nyenko. Ngala ko jibere nga kisi barinta tata ko atelu man kuke andu ngani ya marodi le purisal bula.
It was at that juncture, the four of us, myself, again, Buba, Jame, Duta Kamaso, and Malik, decided that we needed to take an action.
Utumolontel mo nano nte Duta Kamaso, Malik, and Buba Jame ko nyanta kukelale.
We deliberated on it
na kuoka chanda manglu tema
and concluded that we needed to take legal action.
But
that doesn't include Buba, because Buba said he was an active military officer and according to the terms and conditions of services, he couldn't go to court with the government. And we advised each other and decided that instead of taking it jointly, legal action jointly, let's take it individually.
Tunatani yamaro dinyo la ko namana deng purka yinkota ka samba lua la karola woto mbe wuli ngaluata mfaye nkilin nalu.
That was when I contacted Boriture, lawyer Boriture.
Wotembole mndia muta lawyer Boriture.
The way I contacted him,
la ko futata nyoma nyaming.
Prior to that, about two months or so, maybe 3 months prior to that, I instructed my brother, the one I was living with in Farafenye, to buy a telephone for me. That is that Nokia 1200 telephone for me. He smuggled the phone and gave it to me. None of my coordinators, detainees, knew that I had a phone. So this was how I was communicating with my family and other important people to me. Immediately after every calls, I will just dismantle the whole phone, take out the outer cover, place it there, I mean, the battery out there, the SIM card somewhere else, because we were free to roam within the campus of the NIA.
Ningambandi kumandiro la drone nka telefono nyi janjanne. Ala kubero insio landi dulato nga simo ke dulato nga battery fana landi dulato to.
This was the phone I used to call Lawyer Boritura with.
Ateo telephone kili nga Lawyer Boritura kumandi wolela.
And I explained my ordeal to Bori.
By
the way, he was my geography teacher during my first year at high school.
Adum bekaram bumbato tumo high school atele kan karandi geography la menkata dunia dinkiralu la nyati.
He asked me to send a family member of mine to go and see him.
Akon sinna badin kilin jube insimen kiakang.
And that his consultation fee was 1,500.
Amunta bitun ala dundiri jomu menti pour kanakuluta dalas wulikilin dalas kemelulu.
Which I needed to pay.
Nyanta wale jola.
Then I sent my younger brother Dembo Bojang.
Ndoma Dembo Bojang ngoki.
Who took the money to Bori.
Meye kolonyi samba Bori.
And there and then Bori took up the case with the High Court.
Wotembolem Bori nyin quota na kiti bunda bala High Court.
This was, the case was mentioned at High Court on Monday to 25th of September 2006.
September 2006 yenyin kito folunne kiti bundala.
And by Friday the 29th, I can't remember the judge's name, but I think it's something like Justice Monaghan. I can't remember. It's a Nigerian lady.
Nigeria Jojo Bembijang from Monaghan Lombang Mang Hakilo Mato Mutano Wolungo,
who ordered for my release. So I got the information prior, because I was keen and curious. Then I used the same strategy to call my brother who was at the High Court at the time. Then my family was already on the ground if in case they wanted to release me so that they can grant me bail.
I have with me exhibit 63C. That's the Point newspaper dated October 12, 2006.
October 12, 2006. Point newspaper.
And on page 3 of the article, which is titled Malik Mbub Dutakamaso released. On the last paragraph, it stated that you were released on the basis of a habeas corpus that was filed.
Can you please tell me what that means in English?
That is an application for the the state to produce you, dead or alive.
So it was that serious?
Yes, in plain English.
So I was in dead row, basically.
Well, it was an application filed by your counsel for your release from the state's detention. And you were released eventually?
Yes, so I was released eventually. This was on a Friday. To Juma prayers. And asked to report at the NIA on Monday, the 2nd of October.
For how long were you reporting at the NIA after your release?
I've been shuttling between Farafenye and Banjul to report 2-3 months. But I reached a conclusion that it was useless because I'll just go and be kept there for hours and asked to go and come another week or after another 2 weeks.
bari bringa tata anu fa futa taw temboto nata muta ko no fate nyinna kadu nin tata je nka sile ka sije hanu fo nin tilo bina boyla safo nyeta isina muruna nyi lun ko tan yo adum biriya ka taw nyan nata je ko no fate nyinna.
If you knew the South Bank route at the time,
wotembo natara yenyin silo lo ka ko South Bank wala silo men yalonko wala kabubara kata farafenye
bara to farafenye would take you not less than 5 hours.
alun kabubara wotembo kata farafenye ni ko ba aborla motola abukam manke montoro wati lulola.
I got fed up and stopped coming.
Bitum anataka kuti meyen sisifa yenju sofa nganda purkana.
I think I'm still on bail.
Andu ngamera hanimbi ndo bail kang.
That is it.
You were never released from the bail bond.
I don't think so.
The bail running sartole memfanza or bail running sartole will me bulanza.
No.
Ani.
Can you briefly tell us about the impact of your detention?
Sinang ning ko mudo ning be ko la fa isa fo no nya ko ning ko le ay mun sabuima.
It was the impact was very bad on me.
Men sababu ma akata kuja ubati ntekang.
I think it was even worse on my family.
Andu ngamera akoleata na badi ngulu nadimba le fangu kan katambi wala.
So it reached a stage I thought it was affecting them more than it was with me.
Wati soton ta ngamera ayetelle fangu batandi katambi nta fangu kungola.
Because I ended up building thick skin against it.
Katwa tatale hanfu labango nte labango mbambanta kuonyin kono.
Being the first son of my dad,
my
brothers were almost all going to school. I was the only person supporting him. Thankfully, my salary never stopped. Didn't lose my job at MRC. My salary still goes partly to support my family, but not as much as I had wanted. Because I got myself in a situation where I had to spend more than I needed because of my conditions in detention. I had to eat good. And the NIA weren't providing that for us. Secondly, on a lighter note, it impacted on my my career development because I had already started reading.
And anataku sababu kanasindi nadu ku fana yiriwando la karola katu tembo nganna karango londi la fada muta.
I had an opportunity to pursue a course that I started, but eventually it couldn't go ahead because of that.
Nani silo soto puruka karango do no masata londo la karola bari mbuka manna tente no wala.
But I made up for that when I was transferred to Fajara in 2007.
Bari nata wo no masata le biri en sawundi na Fajara 2007 sankono.
This happened at a time
when
my dad was in prison. And being more or less wholly and so reliant on me for the family upkeep. Affected me a lot. Because I used to go and see him on a monthly basis. They didn't see me for about 2 months. And he demanded answers. We didn't want him to know. But eventually, we had to tell him. Yeah, he had to be told. That affected him. In fact, by the time he came out, became hypertensive. And I would not say that was the main cause, but it contributed to it. My family, they are scared to come and see me because of what happened to my brother the first day, my elder brother that I mentioned, who came to see me the first day. So it was like they wanted to, but they couldn't. So this was the kind of impact it had on me. Though I didn't lose my job, it didn't impact me in terms of salary, and like my salary had been paid for 4 months, 9 days that I've been in detention without working. I'm grateful for that. That was it.
Thank you very much, Mr. Bojang.
Mr. Bojang.
Thank you for answering all of my questions. That will be all from me. Mr. Chairman, the witness is yours now. With respect to the PIS of the witness, okay, I'll give you the exhibit number later. That's the signed copy of the witness and the name that was mentioned, that he could not mention, sorry.
Thank you very much, Counsel, and thank you, Mr. Bojang, for coming to testify.
Chairman, Counsel Jai, I Mr. Bojang, please don't take an
Sorry you had to endure so much in the hands of agents of the state for absolutely no reason.
Si haketo, ye mantora bataki banko fangla doku lalubulu anduna manna ke dalila wo dalila kante.
And the burden imposed on your family was just not justified at all.
Andu ye duno mel lela dimbaya lukang, amandalila soto, amantara lori tonya fanankang.
Commissioners, if you have any questions to ask, please indicate.
Ning Commissioner le nyininkala. Commissioner kinde lafte nyininkala.
Bojang abaraka bake.
Ako numbara bake Lamin Bojang. Thank you very much, Lamin. My thanks to you for agreeing to come and testify here. And we thank you also for your resilience during your detention. And secondly, we would like to show our displeasure and unhappiness for the trouble it brought to your family and your father.
Bao ite be light detention watu menna ikatara taman NIA dulato.
During your time in light detention, you had the chance to have to be walking around in the NIA premises.
Mako ifo dulabe je mento kuyata bake kapudame ye bambadinka fo isije fonye no ala mandala ka benyamen ala Kenya benyamen no.
There was a notorious place in the NIA called Bambadinka. If you have any knowledge of that place, please, we would like you to give us or to explain that place to us or describe. First of all, where this place was situated within the NIA premises. And if you know anything about the interior of that Bambadinka and its surrounding. That's what I wanted to ask you to help us if you have any idea about the place.
Do I respond in Manika or in English?
Well, that's left to you.
Okay.
Yes.
Commissioner Kinta Baraka.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kinte. The place I knew as Bambadinka. If you go into the NIA compound,
light detention
during my time under light detention, I had the chance to be walking around. If you enter through the main door where the vehicles come into the compound, you see a cement block fence. There is a small door somewhere where behind that small door there is a story building situated there. But near that fence, the cement fence there on the left hand side, a small story building there. In front of that small building, towards the gate of the compound, there is a toilet. That's where we used to visit. That toilet, if you pass the toilet, behind the fence there, there is a staircase where people used to climb to go into that story building. There are offices situated up there. So if you enter through that small door just by the fence, the one I mentioned, still the small story building is on your left hand side. If you turn on your left, you go under the veranda of that story building. If you stand and face the story building on the left hand side, there is another door there. But if you observe the door properly, you will realize that that door is a very strong door. It has small holes. If you are somebody as tall as I am, you can just stand and peep inside. But I've never been able to see the interior as I wanted to. Because that place is always dark at all times. So that's the place they call Bambadinka. The place itself, it looks like where the veranda ended of that building, that's where it's situated, but it looks like an underground room. Just like a hole built there. That's the place they call Bambadinka. That's what I know as Bambadinka. But as for us, also because of our curiosity, nara kanyinin karaoke come damal after the state to come dega la do kula do bijindika kacha bakale. We also, just because of after spending some time there, we became acquainted with some of the workers and some of the operatives living there. We used to talk and we used to ask them so that we will know the history of the place. So nada means what we came to get out of that history. Because if I am not mistaken, that place was the former premises of the GPMB. As we were told, that place was the place where they used to keep their safes. Whether it was like that during the time of the GPMB or it was later created by the NIA, that's not clear to me. And it's not wide, the place it's a place where even you don't have to keep an animal there. That's the place I know as Bambadinka. I've never been able to enter the place. That's what I know about the place. Thank you very much, Lamin.
Thank you. If there are no further questions, Mr. Bojang, if you have final remarks to make, please proceed to.
Mr. Bojang, why ring in Cardo TJ? Between Tefanambela Kacha Kumfala Kumakanulumenula, is it tempting?
I would like to thank the Commission in the first place
follow.
For according us this opportunity. As I mentioned earlier, I am part of the people who never believed, who vehemently argued against the fact that this kind of, torture or activities we have been meted on Gambians by both our security and civil personnel. Until I had to undergo this unfortunate experience. So by coming to the commission,
bitunka silo soto kana commission to jang
for some of us who are victims,
puruntel dol men ya lon kon keta molleti man toro kemenula
to narrate our ordeal,
pour kanaw man toro sata
just for us to learn from,
pour se men karannoje
is an opportunity
bunda yeleri ngolo mun tol fanali
that I highly cherished.
me ya lon ka ketanye dia bati ay ketanye siawote
Because
katu
without coming and telling the truth,
nimmanna jangato nyafo
things will just be in the room of vine.
abekela munu kumo doron neti
We'll be open to speculations.
adu abekela kumanin kumaleti mol dol silala dol telala
And people would tend to believe or not to believe based on their own personal indulgences.
amunda molu fawla jero abetarla wala kan dol si song dol ta sonna
But coming here
bari pour kana commission to jang
would give every level-headed person
abe nyi hakkilo dila momondi na men sondo mo ya fatewo fa
a food for thought.
abe miraro dile la me ya lonko asidumi la bak
Because
katu
why would I come here?
munen nambina jang
I mean, what do I need from the commission in order to come here and lie?
man sola mbe sola la munela commission bulu pour ngana jang na faniafo
What would I need from the government? I never work with the government directly.
ntembe sola la munela man sakunda bulu nena man do ko ke man sakunda
In fact, the work I'm doing for the government, I'm doing it for free.
mbedo ko men feka ke kam man sakunda mbe ke kan free bukan wala
As the head of the Gambian National Cancer Registry.
ka fo kon telo nyaton koti Gambia la kansa jankaro safe bunda nying
This does not fall within my purview as a senior data manager at MRC.
ni mantarantela do ko kono ka fo kon telo kibar bunda buntun nati nyaton ko MRC la karola mantara do ko ko
But it's an area where I've been trained on. I've taken up the responsibility in order to help the Ministry of Health to collect cancer data and present wherever they need to.
bar dinkiralon dame yalon ko ngakaran na londo soto
So
anata
I'm
dum
not-
fango ko woton ko but na banko de man na man sakunda nsikare nyin kibaro kensun ka buntun nyokan na man sakunda
So I don't come to the commission for any personal gains.
man na commission to jam pour na fen soto je
That notwithstanding, in as much as we tell the truth in the commission,
hana man ke lamante bar fanan kana ka to nyafu commission to jang
people will still be in denial.
modol be soto la hanin bi men be soso rokela de
And I would like to appeal to everyone
bari mbe mo be dane la ka wasi mo be
for us
pour ntelu
not to
pour nyin kamalan kana
be in denial
nkana son ka kana soso roke
based on assumptions.
ka foko imman kumen kalangolo ya moy la moy tendro ya soso
If we are to deny anything,
ni be kokundi soso la
let us deny based on facts.
ni be soso roke la ay ketto nya koyoti men dunte fango bulo kono
If we inculcate that attitude in us
nim ngawo jiko façon dundi fangolu kono
as people,
kontel mu molleti
as young people,
ko fondin kewol le mun tolti
as if
kontel lebe kala nyim banko la sinin sama alifaluti
we'll have a complete change of mindset.
woto wo ben sondomolu falinnale
And this also that brings me to the next level,
adu wole yem futandi dinkira kotengo fanamma
that we the youngsters of this country
kontel mem mu fondin kewol ti nyim bankun kan
should be ready to take up responsibilities,
nsi pare pour kanna lodu lalu muta sinin samo
but not only taking responsibility,
bari hana manken na lodu lalu mutoti
but taking up ownership
bari nsa ta nga kem fangolu tati
to make things better.
pour ka kolu nyinyandi ka betandi banko
I know that if I have my car
ngalon ko ninna moto bembulu
and do not get have due diligence in the way I drive it,
alum na moto borindinya anin hakilto manta
every breakdown that happens to it
tinyar wo tinyar keta motola
would be made out of my pocket.
amunta mbe dépense wo dépense kala moto nyin kunto abe bolan na jifole kono
So if I'm given a government vehicle,
moto neman sakunda moto dinna
why can't I hold it in that manner as my own?
munan nanta mutala kom fango talo nyinti nga topoto
That is just an example
wo musanti ngo doron neti
of taking ownership.
pour ka fengota ka foko e fango talo nyinti ka muta ko italom
The next thing
ku kotengo
is our security sector.
wole mun na kantonin tankada bundati
I believe
la tala ko
our security forces
na kanta bunda do ku lalu
should be made a force
nyanta kala do ku bundaleti
of choice to join,
me yalon ko asidie mari yedunje
but not a force of last resort to join.
bara kana ka dinkirate ka foko mun koritale wala ben dundilaje
Because
katu
that is, I believe,
wala kuti kollata la nyamen
part of the reasons
wala be dalilo lu kono men ya
why
sabu
we have some bad personnel within our security forces.
simo kurungulu soto men yalon ko ibe nawo tank go kanto bundala
Because security personnel
Katu kanta bunda do kulalu.
have access to guns,
Wulu kilo be telle bulu.
have access to power.
Sembo be telle la karola.
If those people in there are not level-headed,
Molu no menu be o karola jorangulu be bulu manke moluti menu hakilo warata.
the few who are bad elements
Dantangulu menu be kono menu mu kurunguluti.
will eventually tend the rest.
Ha bitu wotumo wolle fanalu bina wo lodula jawotala.
And this is what is happening.
Adu wole be kekan.
I bear witness that
Ninketanye sede kutiko.
I've seen people.
Ngamolu jele.
I'm not here to judge anybody.
Mantara jang puruka mu kitindi.
I may be wrong again,
Asikeno mfilita la koteke.
but I would like to believe that
Bari mbela fala kalanyi nako.
if somebody is to serve in the NIA,
Mumundi nanyanta luko kila NIA.
we are talking about National Intelligence Agency.
Mbedia mukambunda men nakuwa la wole mbankola kibar kullo kibar tamandi bunda.
These are people who are supposed to be seasoned intelligence officers.
Nilumumo leti meni ya lonko. Iketamo lona leti meni ya lonko. Hakilo ye fateo fa ila londo fanankono fanuta wanya.
In terms of technical and intellectual knowledge.
Kamimbe kela londo do ko sambanyati anitel fangon la konoto londo men kono fanuta.
I've seen people
Ngamoluje
in the NIA
NIA
as operatives
menu be do ko laje
who failed the common entrance exams on 4 occasions.
meni ya lonko ye londi kontibota ikafome common entrance sinya nani ikaboyi bukaganyeno.
Who couldn't speak proper English.
Menu fongli ya lonko buka angale kamo fongo senayari fono.
I've asked counsel here
Nga kansul nyinin kajang
to speak to me in English about something she mentioned in the language of law.
pura ay fem fonye jang ay mem fo lua la karola pura yo senayandi nye.
How would we expect somebody who can speak good English,
Say momem fongo buka angale kan kendo fongo fono si jiki wala nyadi le.
doesn't understand good English,
Amang angale kan sahari mo
to
faham.
interpret the language of law
Puro sina lua la kan kanna sori.
in executing his or her duties as an officer of the nation?
Pur kala du ko tamande kata be du ko la bankole.
People who can't write statements.
Men ya lon ko buka kuma kan safeno.
It is sad.
Akata balafati.
I think
Namira.
we need to take a proper look at ourselves
Nyantam fanglu jube la kendeke.
and make the security sector
Nganna kanta bunda ke bundati.
a sector of choice
Na ke dinkirati dame ya lon ko asidia meye wala sidunje.
and not a sector of last resort.
Rakana ke dinkirati dame ya lon ko mo kori lingulu. Men mu korta wala be kadu wala kadunje.
I thank you all in order not to prolong the session. I have a lot to say, but I'll stop there.
Ngali numbara ngali jayi. Ni lodu la kam man la fika kumo jam fandi katambi janna ala baraka al nimbara.
Thank you all.
Ala baraka.
Thank you very much indeed, Mr. Bojang, for those excellent concluding remarks.
Numbara bake Mr. Bojang yela kumo kumfa kuma kan lumen la kuma kan kende ballemu.
And thank you again for coming to testify before the Commission.
Numbara kota ke puru sonta kana sede yaro la commission to jang.
We'll now take a lunch break and come back at 2:45.
Mbita konton dahala nse murunang nintalan sabada sata miniti tang anil lulula.
Meetings adjourned.
Dangu banda.
Xam ngeen fi ngeen di ñëw skincare plus si yu baax rek la ñoo dox nag ay baax rek fu ne la ñoo dem ci réew mi di lañ indi rek nag products yu baax du Paris du Italie du USA du fi mu nekk nii sax boole nañ ci nag Sweden fu nekk lañ leen a indilee products bu dee tamit nag da nga ñuul rek ñu lay jamaa natural beauty that melanin dripping we do have stuff for you as well emuñ si skincare products rek ñu ngi ci cuub yi tamit fu ne la ñoo jaar in fact sax last commercial bi ñu defoon waxuñ leen woon ne dañoo dox ci ay kawar 9A grade rek nag waaw we do have bundles as well hair si lu ne la ñoo dox ñun ñu ngi ci rafetal jigéen rek luy taaral jigéen rek waaw boo leen di tukki tamit bëggoon rek classic suitcase ñu dañoo dox ci ay samsonite duñ dee indi any brand of suitcases though other than samsonite comme li ma dee wax rek boo eggee airport dëri samsonite dafa am nuñ laa xoolee waaw ngeen ne lan nag waaw skin ci moom la ñu gën a xamee nag skin care products ci moom la ñu gën a xamee ñu ngi dox tamit bentey tamit si ay dàlla man waaye man nag skin care mooy suma specialty xam nga rek jigéen bu sa xar kanam réglé loo def mu jag am nañ Patricia Reina Kiwi Eye the whole range Lighten Up Gold tomatine. I mean, the list can just go on and on and on and on. lépp loo xam ne rek luy taaral jigéen la ci yooyu rek la ñoo dox. Skincare plus nag emuñ si Gambia rek ñu ngi United States ñu ngi Gambia fii ba pare bu dee yaa ngi anywhere in Europe mun nañ la ko mail within 3 days rek ñetti fan rek nga jot say diw emuñ si loolu rek dañ laa consult tamit balaa ñu laa jaay diw dinañ def a free consultation pour wax la rek exactly li nga xam ne moo méngoo ak sa kanam dinañ leen wax tamit ne rek am nañ perfumes, you know, fragrances, men's shirts, accessories. We do dresses as well. We do blouses. I mean, we do shoes. Name it, we do them. Skincare Plus 2020 is our year of perfection. Zero tasks. Fi mu nekk nii réew mi fii kenn waratu fi task kenn waratu fi am problème kanam kenn waratu fi am problème picture boo ko amee dafa fekk ne rek ñëwuloo ci place bi fii.
Love, love, love like fire. Bring my yoba, yoba good my fire. Love, 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 love like fire.
Miss B Designer Outlet is the #1 quality and affordable stop shop for all your needs. Get your evening dresses, suit and ties, office wears for both ladies and gentlemen, beach wears, sport wears, pure leather shoes for men, quality belts, bags, heels for all beautiful ladies, original perfumes, accessories, and a lot more. Find us at Kololini Road opposite Gaddafi Mosque at the Aqua Bridge Station, or call us on 295-3411 or 764-2486. Miss B Designer Outlet. Shop right, look good.
When we touch down, better broke down.
Gamtel G-Fiber, now you can enjoy super fast internet in gigabytes. G-Fiber is affordable, stable, secured, and accessible to homes, businesses, and enterprises. With Gamtel G-Fiber, the future is speed. Gamtel, creating a brighter future in communication.
That's how she became mine and see the